And today's Friday, third week of Easter, May 1st. That's right, it was already May. And we continue reading from the Acts of the Apostles. Saul, still breathing murderous threats against the disciples of the Lord, went to the high priest and asked him for letters to the synagogues in Damascus, that if he should find any men or women who belong to the way, he might bring them back to Jerusalem in chains. On his journey, as he was nearing Damascus, a light from the sky suddenly flashed around him. He fell to the ground and heard a voice saying to him, "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" He said, "Who are you, sir?" The reply came, "I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting. Now get up, go into the city, and you'll be told what you must do." The men who were traveling with him stood speechless, for they heard the voice, but could see no one. Saul got up from the ground, but when he opened his eyes, he could see nothing. So they led him by the hand and brought him to Damascus. For 3 days he was unable to see, and he neither ate nor drank. There was a disciple in Damascus named Ananias, and the Lord said to him in a vision, "Ananias." He answered, "Here I am, Lord." The Lord said to him, "Get up and go to the street called Straight, and ask at the house of Judas for a man from Tarsus named Saul. He is there praying." And in a vision he has seen a man named Ananias come in and lay his hands on him, that he may regain his sight. But Ananias replied, "Lord, I have heard from many sources about this man, evil things he has done to your holy ones in Jerusalem. And here he has authority from the chief priests to imprison all who call upon your name." But the Lord said to him, "Go, for this man is a chosen instrument of mine, to carry my name before Gentiles, kings, and children of Israel. And I will show him what he will have to suffer for my name." So Ananias went and entered the house. Laying his hands on him, he said, "Saul, my brother, the Lord has sent me, Jesus, who appeared to you on the way by which you came, that you may regain your sight and be filled with the Holy Spirit." Immediately things like scales fell from his eyes, and he regained his sight. He got up and was baptized, and when he had eaten, he recovered his strength. He stayed some days with the disciples in Damascus, and he began at once to proclaim Jesus in the synagogues, that he is the Son of God. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. This couple, while visiting a retirement community, his wife and he decided to do some shopping and soon became separated. "Excuse me," he said, approaching a clerk. "I'm looking for my wife. She has white hair and wearing white shoes." Gesturing around the store, the clerk responded, "Take your pick." Sounds like Bellevue, doesn't it, in a way? Take your pick. You know, God could take his pick, anyone he wanted to choose to be his great missionary, right? I'm sure there's people we consider much, much, much more qualified than Saul, who became Paul. But of all the people who he could take a pick of, who he could choose, he chooses one seemingly the least likely, the least qualified, the one who was persecuting, the one who wanted to stop and put an end to this movement of this great faith. God is amazing that way, isn't he? Knocks down Saul, and he's the one. Ananias complained, said, "Lord, are you crazy? Do you know who he is?" I think God knew. But God said, "No, this is the man I have chosen. This is the man I have picked." You know, all the times that we sort of discount ourselves, disqualify ourselves, say, "Well, I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not holy enough. I don't know enough. I'm divorced," whatever the situation may be. And therefore we say, "Lord cannot use me, and I'm not going to get involved. I'm not going to be his witness." But if God can choose Saul, he could choose you. He could choose anyone here to be his witnesses, to bring good news to others. And so when you hear that little whisper again, when you hear me or someone else asking for help, don't say, "Well, I'm not good enough." Say, "Lord, if you want me, choose me. Here I am." God bless you.